Okay, hopefully I don't lose my train of thought this time in this recording, because I did the last one. I'm just gonna go straight into it like I always do. Said that last time. Anyways, um, overall trading day. It was decent. We did have CPI news today, so CPI news happened during the pre-market. Upon when CPI news happening during the pre-market, I was already going to be cautious considering we already hit all-time highs once more, and it just doesn't. And it was expected for today to kind of be a range day because of CPI coming out. CPI is Consumer Price Index. I'm not going to explain further into it. If you want to know what it is, look it up. Um, I marked my data highs and data lows. So this is the CPI candle. Marked the data high of the CPI, data low of the CPI. We saw that the data high of the CPI swept, and we started to having a result, which was a move down. What was I looking for? I was overall bullish for the day. So I was looking for us to head to the data low and having a reversal. I took an entry before the data low. I know, I know. I say one thing and I do. Oh my goodness! I say one thing and I do the complete other thing. Um, so we did that. That was a bad move on us. It was an oopsie, you know. Uh, was what you would call white girl activities, if you want to put it that way. That being said, we exited out of this trade because it was not even a cent in profit. Didn't make sense to stay in it. And we waited for a new entry. And that entry, we actually were good and waited for the sweep. We swept data lows and pre-market low, or somewhat of the pre-market low. We practically went up almost all day, but I believe it was a pre-market low, or at least near a pre-market low. Yeah, for New York session, it was a pre-market low, and then for London session, there was a London low that was swept as well, but I didn't have that marked out. That being said, I entered into the trade, and I didn't like the way it was moving, so I ended up having to exit out of it. So I ended up having to exit out of it because I didn't like the way price action was moving. Then I entered into another trade later on after we swept this low. I thought, okay, more than likely a reversal is expected to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, I'm not going to be opposed to taking the trade, right? So lo and behold, that reversal did happen and ended up entering, and I ended up having a very tight stop, 10-point stop, mainly because I was more so looking for me to either get invalidated immediately because I already was in a trade. I was already in a few trades, so if this doesn't work out, I'd rather just be done with it, right? That said, we ended up moving up close to take profit, but we didn't hit take profit. I know it's terrible. It makes us sad, but it's okay. So we ended up heading close to take profit, ended up exiting because we didn't hit take profit. I believe I actually exited after this candle here. So yeah, yeah, sounds about right. Actually, let me be a little bit more correct. Let me be more correct for all y'all, or for myself also. It would be, where was my exact exit? Well, let's see here. 179.75. So the exact exit was at 179, just about right here. Just about right there. We'll even make it lime green for you to see it. There you go. So that was the exit. That was the exact exit of the trade. So, like I said, main reason of exiting was because I didn't like the way price action was going. Invalidated, we invalidated the previous candle, and then we invalidated the range. When that happens, I usually exit out of the trade. Same reason for entry. When we invalidate a previous candle and then we invalidate the range, that looks like a good entry to me. Good to go. I didn't use footprints. Just want to clarify that. I didn't use footprints today mainly because there was no confirmation through footprints, in my opinion. I couldn't find a confirmation. So I wasn't really able to use footprints as my extra confirmation confluence. So I had to mainly go off of price action and the way price was moving. I ended up using, my 9 EMA, my my typical reversal setup, and just overall my psychological levels that I've had set for myself. So yeah, it's pretty much a trade. It's pretty much it. And yeah, we'll go ahead and see what tomorrow brings.